This is WA6ED for the SOARA 10-meter net. We run this net on 28.415 plus or minus. It's open to all licensed amateurs. And let's break for a second for any emergency or priority traffic. Okay, having heard none, I have K6RBS. Richard, anybody else like to join the net? Please call now.
W6EDT.
Okay, good morning, Dale. We got Richard and then W6EDT, Dale. And let's see if there's anybody else that wants to join. Please call now. Well, maybe Claude will show up here in a little bit. I've been, we had a pretty good kind of mini conversation on 40 meters on the Nano VNA and what to look out for. Lou asked me to send a couple of links. Maybe we need an article in the propagator on the Nano VNA. But I know one mistake that I made is I was using S21 instead of S11 for a lot of measurements, and it'll let you calibrate and do all that stuff. It's just wrong. It's not the right port. But anyway, as far as the topic, maybe test equipment, if anybody wants to talk about any stories related to ham radio test equipment. And if you have a better idea, I'm good with that too. So let's hand it over to K6RBS, and then Richard, you hand it over to Dale, W6EDT, and then I'll see if anybody else wants to join. Take it away, Richard, WA6ED, and good luck on retiring.
Getting really nervous, but thanks, Ed. K6RBS here. Going back to last week, somebody was you, Dale, had an MFJ 269B. Yeah, I got one of those sitting in a box. And it made me wonder, did I leave batteries in it? Took out, 8 screws to get into it, and no, I didn't. Thank God. So it's still functional. I know I had one once before where the batteries had died and leaked all over the place. So anyway, I really don't have much to add. I just thought I'd jump in and say hi. I have a Liverpool game in 26 minutes, so I'm probably going to go and grab another cup of tea and go and watch that when it comes on. So over to Dale, K6RBS.
Well, thank you, Richard, and thank you for running the net, Ed. Yeah, that was very disappointing. I had left the batteries in, had put a piece of paper in so there wouldn't be any standby current drain, which I thought would have preserved the batteries, but it didn't. And fortunately, the damage wasn't super severe. The biggest problem when that happens for me is it removes the plating from the electrode surfaces, which makes them more susceptible to corrosion later. So I put a little deoxit on there. I just plan to never use it with batteries again and instead use it with the plug-in power supply that it's supplied with. Although it appears as though the lithium-ion cells using a buck converter are kind of one of those things that people are doing, and they're not too expensive, and so you can get 1.5 volts out of a rechargeable cell. They require a special charger, I think, because the voltages are just all wrong for lithium ion, right? So the charger has to know, hey, this is a 1.5 volt cell that's got a boost converter inside of it that'll charge the lithium ion cell correctly. So it's kind of weird. Can't drop them in a standard charger and expect them to work, I don't think. Or they certainly won't be charged with a lithium ion. So that, I'll pass it back to Ed. Well, one more thing, yeah, the Nano VNAs are very cool devices, and like I said, they are slightly different, which can be disconcerting. The one I've got is different than the first one I bought. So, anyway, W6EDT back to WA6ED.
WA6ED for the SOARA 10-meter net. Yeah, I had some old flashlights, and I was shocked that they weren't corroded, and they had ever-ready batteries in it. So now I only buy Panasonic, and ever-readies are a little bit more expensive, and that might be the reason. I think Duracell and all of those other batteries went on the cheap and said, on average, we'll make more money if we do it this way. And they probably do. And I saw them at Costco yesterday. And I said, I ain't buying those anymore. And then As far as the nano VNAs, yeah, those software guys, you got to watch them. Got to keep an eye on them. They keep changing stuff. Let's see if anybody else wants to join the net. This is WA6ED for the SOARA 10-meter net. If you'd like to join, please call now.
W6CAG, good morning.
Well, good morning, Claude. And anybody else want to join the net? Please call now. Okay, well, we were just talking about batteries and nano VNA and whatnot. Go ahead and take a turn, Claude, WA6ED.
Okay, good morning. I heard Richard, I heard Dale, I heard Ed. If there was somebody else in there, I guess I didn't hear them. How is everybody today? Batteries and VNAs. Yes, it's kind of like I turned off the radio last week and turned it back on, and the conversation continued. Oh, well, we go through a lot of batteries here. Maybe like those little fake candles that use 2 or 3 AA cells. And so we go. I have a bucket here that I fill up every once in a while. I'm going to take it down to recycling place off of Sand Canyon in Irvine. Then drop them off. Yesterday I spent probably an hour or two, maybe a couple hours, getting my Vibraplex bug adjusted. It's got a lot of screws that you can adjust for different things, and I just kept working at it until I got it to where it's mostly working the way I want it to. Still have an issue with the I'm not sure whether it's the bug or what, but listening to the side tone that I get back out of the radio. It's almost like there's contact bounce. I think maybe not, but that's what it sounds like. I stuck a 0.1 microfarad across the terminals that connect to the radio. See if that would do something, or it didn't. I don't know. Maybe it's not big enough. Okay, but anyway, that's what I was doing yesterday. Got it. So I'm getting closer to actually doing something. Turns out the radio K4's got input two CW key inputs, one for a paddle and one for a straight key. So I have both the paddle and the bug connected to the radio now, and so I'm getting closer to be actually do something. All right, Ed, back to you. W6CAG.
WA6ED for the SOARA 10-meter net. Let's see if Richard's still there before his game starts. Take it away, Richard. Hand it to Dale. Dale can hand it to Claude. And take it away, WA6ED.
Yeah, still here. Getting good to start to the bottom of the hour. I keep jumping around different topics, but I'll share this with you. I probably shouldn't, but I will. The recent change in bandplan, recent change in frequency allocation on 60 meters. The channel 3 is now replaced by I can't remember the exact frequencies. 5.351, 5.366, something like that. 9 watts, 9 point something watts ERP. With that change, we found that some people that used to run 100 watts of FT8 have decided to jump up to what used to be channel 4. Well, channel 4 is where the OC races have their net on Sunday morning, so it was a problem. So Ken was looking at going to what used to be channel 5. Well, channel 5 has been obliterated by CODAR, and I hadn't noticed that before. So did a lot of research. Google is your friend, and found out the culprit. I probably shouldn't say who it is, but they have a CODAR installation on San Clemente Island. And it's been there since, I think, August last year. And it's on 5.420. And it's 50 kilohertz wide, which means it takes out 5.405, which is the old channel 5. And so I've been working on that. Basically, because didn't get a lot of help from the ARRL, basically, so I've taken it on to work on it myself. I put in a complaint to the FCC. I've sent pictures of the signal. I've sent the name of the person in charge of the project and his email, his contact information, and also their engineering data website, so you can see what they're getting from it. That was about over a week ago. As of this morning, it's been off the air for 4 days. So maybe we've got that one fixed. But yeah, if you're used 60 meters, that top channel has just been unusable 7 by 24 because we've given it on San Clemente Island. We did it on ground wave as well here. So that's what I've been up to. Probably shouldn't have shared that, but now the world knows about it. All right, I'm going to jump out. I'll listen one more round, and then I'm going to go and watch Liverpool. Hope they do better than they've been doing recently. Over to Dale, K6RBS, over.
Well, thank you, Richard. And I felt the same way when I retired. It's like, well, this is kind of like the end of the money coming in, kind of, and now the money's just going to be going out. And is that going to be a problem? But it turns out it's not as big a problem as I would have thought. And so it's, you just have to convince yourself with the math that it's going to be okay is what it amounts to. And appreciate you doing that 60-meter stuff. You had mentioned that before, and I think it's kind of an open secret as to who is responsible. You've discussed it before, and I think a couple other people have also mentioned that the group out there that's doing it. It's a little strange to me that they would think it would be okay to do that. They would have expected their engineering to be a little bit better than that, but I guess maybe not everybody considers the same things when they're doing experiments. Sounds like a worthwhile activity, but they just need to find a way to make it not interfere with other services. Thank you for that, and it's unfortunately not surprising the ARRL isn't all that helpful. They've kind of become a shadow of their former self, I'm afraid. Anyway, with that, I'll pass it to Claude, and congratulations on getting your bug working. And I had problems with the contacts on the old bench for BY1 paddle that I got from I6WE and used a little bit of a very, very careful cleanup using just regular notepad paper and maybe a little deoxit, slide them through the contacts, nothing more abrasive than that. Cleaned it right up. So maybe it'll do the same for you. Over to Claude, W6CHE from W6EDT.
Okay there, Dale. Very good idea. Keep that in mind here when I get back to the bug, when the bug bites me again. On the 60-meter thing, I'm sitting here looking at the chart that the ARRL puts out for the U.S. Amateur Radio Band Plan. For 60 meters, I guess up to, other than Richard, I'd never heard that the 60 meters, channel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I look at on the band plan, they don't actually number those little things as channel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I understand how that works. I mean, I can figure that out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from left to right on the page here. One question that before I pass it over to you there again. Well, maybe I'll pass it back to Ed. Maybe he knows. On the band plan, they just apparently that number 5, channel 5, is only usable for CW and digital, and the other 4 are CW digital and upper sideband. You mentioned, I think, Richard, that the races or somebody going to want to use the move to that channel 5. Are they just say CW or digital operation, or are they running sideband? Or maybe WRL's got it wrong. Somebody ought to straighten them out. Anyway, Ed, with that, go back over to you. Go ahead.
Okay, well, this is WA6ED from the SOARA 10-meter net. Would anybody like to join the net? Please call now. Okay, well, I found the EBL rechargeable AA lithium with a charger for $25. You get 8 batteries and a charger for $25.99. Not a bad deal. And then they got a different one for AAA. Hi. All right, let's hand it over to Richard before he watches his game. Take it away, Richard. K6RBS, WA6ED.
Yeah, thanks, K6RBS. Well, I didn't think we had a band plan. I know they tried to keep the X to the top end. Various groups have tried to come up with their own band plans. I really don't think there is one. The rules are, and again, they're not being enforced properly as far as I'm concerned. It's CW, or if you operate digital or SSB, it's 2K8, so 2.8 kilohertz, and it's got to be centered, and it's got to be right centered in the middle of that channel. Unfortunately, that doesn't work too well, because it means you can only have one QSO at a time. Well, on FSB, that's probably true. On CW, not so much. So I know people have kind of bent the rules a little bit on CW. And the same with digital modes. I mean, why would you have just one QSO on the exact center frequency on FT8? And people ignore that one. And I think as long as they stay within the 2.8 kilohertz, nobody cares. But I did not know of any ARRL band plan that says you can't do phone up on the top frequency. Dale, about retirement, and yeah, I have a spreadsheet. Of course, I've got a spreadsheet that looks at where I'm going to be if I live to be 100, and I should be just fine. But we'll see. Who knows what's going to happen, especially with what's happened on the stock market for the last week or so. Lost quite a bit there, but looks like I'll be okay. And I shouldn't say this too loudly. I have a son living with me who we can have a little chat about what he's going to be contributing. Like I've said, it's very much in his interest because I still have a mortgage to pay off after the divorce because I had to buy her out. By paying that down and the value of the house going up, and he's going to end up with it all anyway, it's certainly a good investment for him. So anyway, that's enough of that. TMI probably. Well, thanks for running the net, Ed. Thanks, everybody. And 7-3 all around. And I'll catch you next week. K6. Over to Dale.
Sounds good, Richard. Hey, occasionally your microphone cuts out. I'm not sure what that's about. Maybe a mic contact or something. Audio just goes away and then comes back. Yeah, you just have to, like you say, have faith in your spreadsheet, watch your spending, and you'll be fine. And it's at the end of the day, these little market fluctuations, market goes up and down all the time. You have to look at 10 years plus. So otherwise, you get very excited, and it's not something you can fix anyway. So anyway, 73, Richard. Claude, I was actually talking about using the paper not just for the paddle, but also for because the contacts on it also have the same potential problem. And just a piece of paper applied to the contacts with a little bit of pressure on them to kind of rub the oxide off is plenty good, and a little of the oxide on there helps a bit too. So that made a big difference for me. And it's true, a relay contact is true of any contacts, especially if it's been sitting around for a long time. If you use it enough, it'll get, it'll wear on its own and remove the oxide, but that's sort of a faster way to do it. So that's over to Claude, W6CAG from W6CDT.
Okay. W6CAG here. Yeah, I understood what you're saying there, Dale, and wasn't thinking only about the paddle, but maybe that's how it came out when I said it. But yeah, appreciate it. For you, Richard, if you're still listening, for FT8, even though your radio is set to a single frequency, that's the RF. The FT8 is all about audio channels within that 2.8 kilohertz or bandwidth, and you can have a dozen easily different FT8 conversations, all centered on 5.405. Just different, 300 hertz, 400, 500 hertz. All the way up to around 2.8 kilohertz or something like that. Anyhow, so you can have a whole bunch of FT8 QSO contacts going on back and forth within that one span of band of RF bandwidth. Anyway, I don't know what to say about the ARRL saying no sideband up there in that one. Anyhow, I don't know. That's kind of. I'm just looking at the picture. I'm in the page. Maybe if you get around to it, you can look at it. If I'm interpreting it wrong, then next time we're on the net here or something, you can straighten me out. But enjoy the football, and I hope it turns out the way you're hoping. And as far as being retired, yeah, that's me too. The money doesn't stop coming in. That's the funny thing. People saying, "Well, my money's going to stop coming in," but that's not true. I get money coming in every month from based on what I put away for in my 401k over close to 50 years, 35 years anyway that I was saving for that purpose. taxes. That, of course, and a little bit of Social Security and the pension from my employer. So money does come in. I'm really surprised because when it all adds up, it's not a whole lot less than what I was bringing home for salaries. Can I say? Who knows? Back over to Ed, I guess. W6CAG. Go ahead.
WA6ED. This is the SOARA 10-meter net. If anybody would like to check into the net, please call now. Okay, well, it doesn't look like anybody else wants to join the net, and it's three of us now. Richard signed. I've been looking at these EBL batteries. There is one charger that I found that EBL makes, does AA's and AAA's. That's pretty cool. And it's $30 for, it looks like 4 of each battery. So that's not too bad. I didn't know they made those. So I pretty well purged all of my batteries to the 18650 for flashlights. But other things that use them, this might come in handy as an option to the Panasonic batteries and the Eveready. So I'm building up my knowledge base of anti-leak batteries. So that's kind of cool. And then as far as the bands and stuff are concerned, a lot of times, it takes a little bit of research. That's good that we're doing that and try to find out what's the right way to transmit. And then, Claude, you had sort of a ringing, or for a while at least, on your transmission. It was almost like and it might be my receiver, who knows? But it was your audio was good, but there was sort of like this echo ring or something. It was really weird. Maybe Dale can describe it a little bit better. All right, let me hand it over to Dale, and let's see about starting a 73 round so that I can go finish my yard work this morning while it's not hot. I'm being selfish. Over to Dale, WA6ED.
Well, thank you, Ed, and thanks again for running that. So one caveat on those lithium-ion buck boost cells is their shelf life is pretty poor. Unlike the end loops, which have great storage characteristics, the standby current required to run the buck boost converter is not zero, and that causes the batteries to have a relatively short shelf life. So I don't know how to characterize it exactly. I've heard people describe it as 6 months before they become completely discharged. That seems a little bit short. Who knows? It depends on the buck boost circuitry that's being used, and basically backward leakage through diodes and stuff like that. And those batteries are relatively small, right? They're, AAA or AA size. So for long-term use, for long-term storage, or for very low drain uses, probably a lithium primary cell is your best choice for lots and lots of reasons, including the fact they don't leak, but also they're really optimized for that use case. So that's the only downside that I've heard about them. Of course, it's the typical Chinese manufacturer problem, but maybe if you get something made in Japan or Taiwan, that might not be too bad. Somebody said there were some of those 1.5 volt buck burst lithium cells made in Germany, but I haven't been able to find them yet. And so anyway, so I'll say 73 and let you get to your yard work. I need to go make myself some breakfast. So anyway, and I guess we'll probably see you tonight over at the restaurant. Over to Claude, W6CAG from W6EDT.
Okay, Dale. This is W6CAG, and Mimi and I won't be there tonight. Sorry, we'll miss you. First time that you're showing up, and we're passing this time. But maybe next week. And I should have been paying better attention to what you're saying about the batteries, because we use a lot of AA's here in things that these light LED things like the fake candles and other things that you. And so we go through a bunch of them. I should have been paying closer attention since it probably should have some kind of a charging bank set up here and be cycling those batteries, filling up buckets of used alkaline batteries to take to the hazardous waste folks. Oh well, 7.3. I turned down the monitor here, Ed. I had my monitor volume turned up from my code practice yesterday, where I was playing with the bug. I had turned it up, so I turned it back down again. So maybe I was getting some feedback from that. So you might mention if that whatever it was went away. So 7-3, everybody, have a great rest of your Sunday and a week, and I guess do it again. Over to you there. Ed, W6CAG, Lake Forest, 7-3.
Well, thank you, Claude, WA6ED, and it did get better, so it went away. So it was probably that feedback stuff you were talking about, the monitor. It is all better now, so that's good. Well, thanks for joining the net, everybody, and participating. And, yeah, it is kind of fun to have a net on 10 meters, something different. And then every once in a while we get a technician to join the net, which is always good. Well, have a great Sunday. See you later. See you tonight, Dale. And I haven't had Italian food in quite a while, so I'm looking forward to it. All right. Y'all take care. Have a good one. WA6ED. Well, I should have said it in the right order. This net is now closed. We return this frequency back to normal use. WA6ED clear.